All right, here we go. 10:35. Part 6 of Tony Ray Baker's 6-part system for staying in front of your sphere of influence, generating leads from your sphere of influence. I'm Brian Weiss, partner with Faces of, corporate sponsor with Broker Agent Advisor. I met Tony Ray Baker as part of the Broker Agent of the Month program, the recognition program with Broker Agent Advisor. Tony, I don't know how long it's been now, Tony, 8 or 10 months ago, a year ago, you were recognized as Broker Agent of the Month for the state of Arizona. I've enjoyed the process of getting to know you. Tony is a giver. He's trained hundreds and hundreds of agents over his 27-year career in real estate, and he desires to make an impact in a positive way on those he comes across. And so he and I had some dialogue around setting up in talking about his 6-part system for staying relevant and top of mind with the sphere of influence and how he continues to generate business off his sphere of influence. And this is part 6. We're going to talk about text messages. As you join, if you have any questions, the group's relatively small today, so you can just unmute and ask. If we get 8, 10, 12 people as we get into this, I would ask that you ask your questions in the chat. It's a lot easier to manage that way. With that being said, Tony, privileged to see your face again. Glad to be here for another hour. Thank you. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Let's make sure I have some stuff up here and running. I do want to grab a quick, make sure we can share. And I'm not getting that button. That you're going to hear my puppy, who's a little irritated that she is not allowed in the room. So will you enable sharing for me?
Just did. Should be good.
Let's see if it tried again. It says disable. There it goes. Got it. Okay, so you guys can see my screen now?
Yeah. You ready to film?
Yeah. So that's a good intro to how I use some text, because text can be very unfriendly and cold, and I don't ever like to use text for anything that involves with legal. I will not use text. If we're going to get into a conversation, I'm not going to use text. So today I'm going to show you how to have how to use text. That is my upset dog. I'm going to tell you how to use text. Hold on just a sec. I apologize. Really? All right. Now you're the star of the show, guys. All right.
Guess who wins?
Guess
who wins?
They always win. They just got back from camping in Mexico, so they're very feisty and hyper, and they just want to leave again. They want to go to the beach. So let's talk about I think that there's really good ways to use text, and I think there's really bad ways to use text. And so I want to talk about that today. And I know some of you, if you've watched this before, I'm going to be a little redundant on some things, but they're so important that if somebody new's watching this, I think they have to know why what are we doing here? And the reason we're here is because we want great quality of life. That's why I do what I do. That's why I chose real estate as a profession. That's why I chose to create the systems that I do in real estate. That's what I look at every year. When I analyze my business plan for the following year, I look at what is the quality of life. Yes, I want to make a certain amount of a level of income. Yes, I want a certain level of money to save for retirement. Those are part of it. But also losing someone very early on in life. My best friend died at a very early age, and that was a wake-up call for me that I wasn't as invincible as I thought I was, and I couldn't count on time. And so that lesson for me was I have to have that balance so that on my deathbed, I would never regret not doing something or having enjoyed something that I could have. And so there's this balance level. And what I do is look at, how do I get 10, 12 vacations a year? How do I not work on weekends? How do I not work evenings? How do I work Monday through Friday? How do I do that, make that good income that I want so that I can have money for retirement, enjoy the lifestyle that I want? And so I build systems all around making that happen. And when you focus on what you want, you don't have to know the how it's going to happen. You just don't. It will happen because the more you focus on the plan, the more those components come to fruition for you. So, and in these 6 videos that we've done so far, the systems that we've gone over are all about how I make that happen for me. So if you just did anything and took the 6 things that we have done on these videos and put them into play, I could tell you that you're going to be really fast paced on your way to having this quality of life, if it's what you want. I mean, my life and quality and the things I do are not for everybody, obviously. So, but you can get there. It just takes time, and you just keep doing it, and you set up a system and you make sure it's working right, and then you let it go, and it goes on autopilot, and you go to the next system. So out of the 6 videos I've done, there's 6 components. I would say grab one of them that's the easiest to do and get the system set up, and then make it work. Make it work for 30 days, get into the habit, and then look at doing the next system. So
Tony, quick time out. Saber,
yeah.
it's good to see you. It's been a while. Marty, you guys that are partners in the faces, these 6 videos are all in the resource center. So you have access to them. You can go back and watch whatever you want. They each tackle one element of Tony's system. Davis, if you go to Broker Agent Advisors YouTube channel, they're all there also. They're about an hour each, and you can find each one of the 6 parts there. Sorry, Tony, go ahead.
No, I'm glad to stop me. I run out of breath. I have so much I want to say. Yeah, so, and just to be very clear, really quick too, is, and some of you have heard this before, but I don't have a formal education. I'm a street scrapper as far as I'm concerned. I lied about my age at 15. I had already I was done with high school. I was an honor student. I had nowhere to go. I had nothing to do. So I lied about my age. They didn't check ID. I started working when I was 15. And I worked 2 jobs for the first 10 years of my career in work. I was working 2 jobs all the time because I wanted to learn everything I could before I found real estate. So I don't have a formal education. I'm not a college graduate, and I still have a really great life, and I make a really, really good income, and you can do all that. So don't let anything in your past hold you back. It's time to go forward as of today. And I'm hoping for the new year that everybody just puts their foot down and says, let's just go forward. And there's no reason, there's no excuses out there. I keep hearing, oh, there's no inventory and there's too many realtors and all that stuff. But yet the top 200 realtors in my community are all doing really well. So there's always room for more, and there's always abundance. So don't fall into that niche either. Remember, there's always abundance. So I do, you can do all this stuff I do. I run a trolley tour company on top of, we have one of the largest websites we run in this half of the United States. There's a whole bunch of different companies I run. I have an Airbnb we run, and then I've got long-term rentals. Plus I do real estate full time. So I can do all that. Plus I teach every month, a couple times a month. I teach either on stage somewhere or I teach here. And so if I can pull all that together, so can you. You can run a very successful business. It's all about systems. And I'll tell you, I encourage you to steal everything I have, take it and make it yours. Obviously, if you steal my web content, it would make no sense. But still the idea, look at my websites, look at the layouts, use them as your guide. If you want to take something I've written and it makes sense, just change it, because if you copy anything on the web, Google will figure it out and they'll sandbox you for doing that. So, but you have my permission to copy anything and ask me for anything and write to me, and I'll help you as much as I can. So all that being said, let's talk about text messages, and let's talk about good and bad uses. So I think Bad use for text message is when you get into a conversation with an agent who doesn't understand something, or they're hostile, or they're emotional, I guess is the best word. They get emotional. I would pull off of the text message immediately, and I go right to email so I can document everything quickly and easily. So that's a reason I don't use text. The same with a client. If there's emotion involved, or it can be misconstrued, I can write a sentence and one person can read it as I'm angry and one person can read it as I'm happy. The same sentence. So you must be careful. And I think that's why people have been drawn to emojis, is because I can say a sentence and know that it may be construed either way. But if I throw the happy face on the emoji with that sentence, I've given you an indicator of my emotional feeling that goes with the sentence. So whenever I see anything legal or that needs reverence of explanation, I'm going to try to get them over to emailing as quickly as possible. Does that make sense? I think of text messaging as a fun way to communicate and a quick way to communicate. I send text messages to clients that say, hey, Susie just sent you that document to sign. It's in your inbox. That's a quick way to communicate. It's very, and Susie responds. So that's a quick communication. I also send it text messages for very emotional, fun type communication, and we'll go through those. And just to be super clear, the way we run all of our business, I do have a partner. He is my buyer's agent, and so he works out in the field all the time. We have an assistant who's certifiably insane because she's been with us 26 years. So she must be losing it. And then we have two part-timers that come in and out through the week and jump in on projects. So they both work, we'll just say everybody works 20 hours a week. So I actually have probably 60 hours a week worth of helpers total, just to do everything that we do. I wasn't always that way, however, so understand that I was just me and my assistant for a very, very long time. So you can do this. So let's talk about you can see on the screen the happy birthday thing. Is that correct, Brian?
You got it.
Okay. So that's a fun way we use text. I have a CRM with by referral only. BRO is the organization. Their CRM sends me a message every morning to tell me what special dates I should be looking at and whose birthdays we have. That CRM sends out a beautiful birthday email to everybody, and then it sends me a notification saying, we just sent Brian a birthday letter. Every letter for every person is completely different. It's very similar to a chicken soup for the soul type of letter. It's an inspirational letter about them and their birthday and an event that has happened in the past that links them and a very famous person to their birth date. So it's really beautiful. It comes from by referral only. I don't have to do anything. They notify me, however, that that's been sent out and what it says. And then I jump into sending out my texts, because I believe you want to be everywhere your clients are, and some of them don't open those emails right away. So I want to make sure that if it's Brad's birthday, he's getting notified today that I know it's his birthday. So, and maybe Brad doesn't open emails till Friday. Brad will see my birthday email, and then Brad's seen me twice wishing him a happy birthday. And that's imperative to me because a birthday is the most special day for everyone, right? So hopefully, and I think you have to make sure you get in there and you want to be part of that special day. If you really care about someone, that's a great way to do it. The birthday text you see on the screen is saved in my notes section on my iPhone. I believe Droid phones have a notepad type section as well. So I do not type that out every single time. As you can see, if it's your birthday, I can go in. This is what I call the girl birthday version. There's a boy birthday version that's got little race cars and cowboy hat and some funny things that like there's a knight or a sword or something. So I changed the emojis up. I saved them both to my iPhone notes. And then all I have to do is copy paste, and I can modify this any way I want very quickly. And you can see where it says happy birthday, dear, I throw Brad's name in there. A lot of times I might, if it's for example, I have a friend named Christy who I call Honey Bunny. So I'll go happy birthday, dear Christy, Honey Bunny Sparkle Pants. I can throw that in, and she gets very excited to see that text message. So I modify those, but the majority of it's already done for us because I've already got the message, right? So I highly recommend you take that. I was trying to figure out how to get it to you, but I can't figure out how to get the dang thing off my phone. So I screenshotted it. But once you do it one time and you play with your emojis, you won't be doing it again. So that's a cool part. Any questions on that? This is probably my favorite thing you can do on a daily basis is get those birthdays online and start sending them out. Questions? Okay. I'm scrolling through my notes. All right. I think the other thing to remember, just as a pointer for text messaging, is if whoever you're texting, treat them like you're talking to your best friend, the same as you should do on a phone call. If you don't have that nice feeling, then you might not want to be texting them because the people that we keep in our circle, the top 100, 150 clients are like us, like-minded, and we want to keep them in our circle. So we always keep that going. But if it's somebody that is not a connection, they're not a fit, then you probably don't want to reach out to them with a text message with an emoji like this. So remember, treat them like you're talking to your best friend. So an example of that is a great text that I love, works really well is, hey, Carolyn, I was just thinking about you. Do you have time for a quick chat? Or, hey, Carolyn, your name just popped in my head. Do you have time for a quick chat? I kind of feel like if everyone on here could just say yes, you would all say yes, that happens daily to you. We will be driving, I'll be talking to somebody, and somebody's name pops in my head. So that is absolute authentic truth, that somebody's name always pops in your head almost every day. And the weirder thing is, if you don't acknowledge it or you don't do anything about it, they somehow either call within 24 hours or their name doesn't go away from your head. So the really cool thing is, if somebody's name pops in your head, immediately when you get a chance to text, don't do it while driving, send them this message that says, hey, your name just popped in my head. Do you have time for a quick chat? Let's catch up. That's a really nice text. And that's how you treat a best friend. You do not have any reservation about sending that text. Okay. Another good reason for sending a text would be an anniversary. It doesn't matter if it's boy or girl, I will tell you. And by the way, boy, girl, girl, I don't care. One of them has a worse memory than the other. So whatever couple you're sending to on an anniversary text, send it to both of their phones and send it a few days early. So you would send out a text that says, happy anniversary, hope you both have a great day. Whatever you're going to send it to both phones separately so they both get it. And that's another thing I would say too, that one of my rules about text. Whoever's on my contract, whoever I'm dealing with when it comes to buying or selling, always get the same text. So if it's, let's say, husband and wife, they're both getting the same text at the same moment every time. I put them both on the same thread because I don't want them to have to communicate. I don't want loss of communication, and I want everybody to instantly have the right answer. And it works beautifully for keeping things clear. So that's another one of my rules. Happy home anniversary is a great reason to text. We can send out, we just sent out a happy home anniversary, and it ended up being a dinner, which was really fun. They were like, oh my God, come over for dinner, enjoy our house. So that was pretty cool. It's a good reason for you to take somebody to dinner as a home anniversary. So I find that works really well to get people together. Congratulations on your home value. I think going into January, February, I'm trying to figure out right now how to manage this, but I want to grab all of our top 100 to 150 clients data and send them a text that says, OMG, your home value is skyrocketed. And can I talk to you? Something to that effect so that I can get on the phone with them and just tell them, do you know that your house right now is worth $485 and you paid $350 a few years ago? I want you to know what about that equity, and is there any questions about what you can do with it? Because I have resources for you to help you. So if you did that in January, February, and went through your database of people you helped buy houses, you would actually be helping them understand their equity, what's going on with it, what you can do with equity. Equity can be used, and the majority of homeowners in America have far more equity than they know, and it's a usable resource. And how smart would it be not to take out equity, use it to pay off horrible credit card debt at 20% interest, and have that equity paid off? And the rates are so low right now, it's just the perfect time for those cash out refis. So a lot to talk about with your client. It gives you a reason for great open dialogue. And if you want, you can involve your favorite loan officer, or actually I would involve the loan officer who helped them. If it's your loan officer, someone you think is great, put them on the phone call or call that loan officer first and get tips and information before you call. So it's a really good reason to text, is to tell them, OMG, your home value is crazy. And just congratulate them. Congrats on making a great decision. You bought a house 2 years ago and you just gained $100,000. That's pretty cool. Let's talk about how to buy a couple more houses and set up retirement. Let's talk about what you can do, how you can become a multimillionaire by owning 5 houses, and how I can help you get there with a little bit of money. Let's talk about those things. So those are really great reasons to send a text. So any questions on any of that? We use text messaging. We're getting ready to start. I'm putting this on my campaign for next year. We've been building an app, and we do have a website. And of course, everybody should have a website, because that's a place where your own virtual business lands. What I'm looking at next year is how to send out text messages that say, hey, we just added Kukai ramen, the best ramen in town. We just added that to our app and our website, or one or the other. So to let people, and then give them the link to go straight over to Kukai. That way I can support a local business that I love. I'm selfishly, I want them to stay in business because this ramen is really, really good. So I want them to stay in business. And so by supporting them there, I can send that out on my text. I also am looking at, wouldn't it be great to send out a text that somehow connects the folks to the faces of, which says, hey, Mark just was honored on the Faces of Tucson. You should check out his page. He's got a really cool story. So I'm thinking there's a text possibility there as well. Okay. And then I'll tell you, my most successful texts are usually invites. And I think I did this one time on a trial run. And what I did was I took I made, like you can see the emojis on the screen, this little note. I wrote the note on it in my iPhone notes, the invite I wanted to text. And what I did is I said, hey, happy hour Wednesday night, can you join us? And that's all I gave them. And I picked 50 people as a test run, and I sent it out on Monday night. And I sent it out to all 50 people. And what I did was just clicked on their name, and then I had hit copy off my notes. So all I had to do is hit their name and hit paste. And I typed their name in there at the top. So I would write, hey, Brad, happy. And then I would hit paste, and it would say happy hour on Wednesday night. Can you join us? And then I would hit send to Brad, right? So it really was quick and easy. It took me a few minutes, and I got 50 people a text. I really assumed I would get 20 people, was my hope, was to get 20 people to meet me for happy hour. 49 showed up, 49 responded. One said, oh my God, I can't make it, we're out of town. So we had 49 people. And then I had to go back and say, so then when they respond, I get to go, oh my gosh, great. We're meeting at the Aloft Hotel at Campbell and Speedway from 4 o'clock to 7, I'll be there, and appetizers are on me. So they knew where to go, and they knew the time I would be hanging out. And then I waited for the day of, and in the morning, I sent them all the message that said, can't wait to see you at happy hour tonight. And the reason I did all of that is because that's exactly what I would say to my best friend. And I would, so I'm reminding them I'll see them. I'm excited to see them. It's how I treat my best friend. So 49 people showed up. I didn't buy drinks because I didn't want to get into that legality. In Arizona, laws are pretty strict. So what I did do is tell the hotel manager, since we wiped out his lobby, that I did not know I was going to do that. We took up his whole lobby. So I told the hotel manager, bring out different appetizers that you think would be great, that are easy for people to use with hands and little plates, and I'll pay for the bill for the appetizers. So it really went well. I got to see everybody. We hung out. It was a relaxed evening, and it was as if it was perfect. It was just as if I would have invited 4 or 5 friends. It worked out very casual, and I think that was one of the best text uses I had found. So when I analyzed it, I was like, why did that work so well? And I went right back to thinking it through. It was because, one, I didn't give them all the information first. I gave them a bit of information, and when they said yes, I gave them more. So I opened a dialogue. I opened a thread with each person, and that's imperative because that's how you treat a friend. And then the other thing was, I reminded them on the day of, and that I was excited to see them. And if they're excited to see you, they're going to show up. So there's 3 components to that text system there that I didn't even know, but I just did what was natural for me. So I can reinvent that, and I have many times now, and it works every single time. So if you have something going on right now, like we have a zoo, which is a pretty famous little zoo in the United States called Reed Park Zoo, and that zoo has a thing called Zoo Lights. And so right now I can send out a text message and say, hey, we're headed to Zoo Lights on Thursday night. Do you want to join us? And so I can do that. And if I want to set that up, I can get a bunch of people to join us at Zoo Lights. Remember, every time you get to see people and you get to be with them, you're creating the most important thing, which are memories. And memories are what hold in their minds and their hearts. And they're the reason they refer you business later. Because they don't care that Brad's the most extraordinary realtor on the planet. They care about Brad, and they care that Brad cares about them. So that's really the reason you want to keep always seeing the folks that you like hanging out with. The other reason is the folks you like hanging out with, hang out with like-minded people. So what better place to be for a referral? And I've started saying on my text messages now, and once they agree that they're coming, I'll always say, hey, bring a friend. Because now I'm realizing, hey, wouldn't it be cool to meet more people like them? I love that couple. They're really fun to hang out with. I wonder who their friends are. They're going to be fun to hang out with. I did the same thing for Halloween, which has become such a super popular event. I did a text that said, hey, we're headed to the scary corn maze on Tuesday. You want to join us? We would love to see you. And I think we had 34 people show up to that one out of 40 I sent out. So the corn maze, the zoo lights, the cool thing is you send out these texts and you're not hosting, you're not cleaning up, you're not setting up, you're not doing anything. You just get people together. So, and you can choose if you want, if you have the budget, you could choose to pay for their tickets. You could choose to buy them all a corn dog. I don't care what it is, but you don't have to pay for anything. Just to organize a group to get together creates really cool memories, and it connects people. They get to meet each other, and your center of influence, your SOI or your COI, become more tightly woven. And the more that occurs, the more you've created what a lot of books and people refer to as a tribe. And taking care of tribe and your village is the priority. Any questions? Brad had a question earlier.
So I've actually got two questions. Well, the one from earlier, would you send that text to like a lender and try to bring them in as well, or to try to grow that? And then the second question was the Christmas gifts or something for past clients.
So let's talk about lenders. I have clients with 2 or 3 different lenders. And so in my CRM, we have a little flag that tells me which lender each client is with. So what I'll do, Brad, is for an event, I'll actually call the lender and I'll say, hey, we have 62 people. I want to invite to blank. Can you be there? What night? And then I'll invite those 62 people with that lender. I'll invite them. That lender typically always wants to help. So the 2 of us will pay for something. Well, we'll split the party, whatever it is, for RESPA. But yeah, so I'll invite the lender that goes with the group, because I've actually discovered over 27 years, I'm creating different tribes. So lender A tribe and lender B tribe. And it works out really well because the lender gets to see everybody too. And here's the funny thing, a lot of times these folks have never met. These lenders have been on the phone helping them get through the process, and they're excited to meet them. Like, oh my God, I get to see what you actually look like. So that's pretty cool. So that's a great question. So I would invite the lender if you can. There's always the outsider that came in with an odd lender that was their friend's cousin, and they're really not a connect. So bring them in, just invite them into one of those, invite them into, don't let them go because they're not with the right lender. Okay. Always invite them all in. But yeah, so that's a good question. Did that answer that for you, Brad?
Yes, sir. And then
Okay.
the other one was, what are you doing for Christmas gifts for your clients?
So this year we just finished up and we did a text, which worked really well. What we did was we did 2 parties this year. We did one call for our Halloween festival, which we do every year, a Halloween festival. And then we just did cookies and gratitude. What I found out was a lot of people are giving out pies now, because that's become a thing for lenders and realtors, is to give out a pie. And so they have these events where everybody stops by their office and they've already reserved pies, and they give out 52 pies and everybody comes in and sees them and they give out pies. Well, ironically, all of the people around me are giving out pies. And so I was having a heck of a time figuring out well, all my clients are going to the lender's offices and they're getting pies. They don't want my darn pie. So, and what if you don't want pie? So I was straining over it this year, and I happened to run into a guy who makes chocolate chip cookies. He owns the Arizona Baking Company, and he makes chocolate chip cookies, and he uses mesquite pods harvested locally in Tucson to create we'll call it the flour. So they're mesquite pod chocolate chip cookies. So he's a local company using locally harvested mesquite pods, and he's just started up this business. And I thought, what an amazing connection for our community to know. His name's Bjorgvin, and he's from Iceland. So I thought, him and his wife are such a nice couple. And I thought, what a cool way to throw a party, right? We'll see if Bjorgvin will come to the house, and I'll invite people to the house, and I'll buy a bag of his cookie mix for every single person who shows up, and I'll have him there, and he'll bake cookies, and we'll throw a garden party so everybody could be outside in our gardens, and we'll have drinks and food, appetizers out in the garden, and people can come and meet each other and pick up a bag of cookies on their way out. So as that was growing in my mind, I ran into a journal called the Gratitude Journal. So I called the manufacturer, I got on the phone with them. They sold me 100 journals, and they're really cool because every morning you open it up and you do 5-minute exercise answering questions about gratitude and being thankful. So I thought, what a great combination over the holidays, near Thanksgiving, near Christmas. I'll have a gratitude journal, and now I'll have a bag of cookies for everybody, right? So every single person who comes gets one. So I got an order of 100 bags of cookies and 100 gratitude journals, and I texted everybody. I also followed up with an email invite to everybody, and we had 78 people come to our house, which was awesome. And we did an open house event, so they weren't there all at the same time, because if you get too many people at one time, you don't get to talk to anybody. So what we did was we made sure we were open house, and I said, we will be open from 10 to 3, come at any time. Bjorgvin was there baking cookies, and he was doing variations like adding walnuts to some and other things. So it was very fun because people kept coming back to try the next version, and it went beautifully because there was always people coming through and meeting new people, and a lot of new connections were made, which was exciting. And they came into our home, which is a really neat shift. It's a paradigm shift for your consumers, your clients. These people get to come into your house. Now it's a big deal. That's how you treat a friend. A friend comes to your house, right? So it was really nice. We've done this before in different types of parties, but this one was probably one of my absolute favorites because it was just a lovely day. We had perfect weather. Everybody just got to eat cookies and talk, and it just was very relaxing, and it was really neat event. And it was one of my smarter events because I actually hired someone to actually help with the event besides him, the guy baking cookies. I had someone there to watch and make sure people knew how to get what they needed, how checking the garbage, all of that stuff that I would normally do, which wasted my time and kept me from my friends. And so this time I had helper, and it worked out beautifully because I just got to be out in the garden and chit chat with everybody. And it just was, I think that's why I've felt so more relaxed with this party. For Halloween, we did an event, which is super easy. There's a giant pumpkin tent in our area that decorates like crazy. It looks like a magical pumpkin Halloween place for kids. And so we throw an event there, and we text everybody, and we send them a backup email, and we literally bring everybody to the tent. We set up a table and chairs. The owner lets us set up in the corner of the tent. They have a petting zoo. They have every type of pumpkin and squash on the planet that they grow locally. And it's all decorated to the nines. I can't even explain how amazing it is. and it's like its own little maze, and the kids come in, and we have a face painter for them. So all the kids get to have their faces painted, and we set it up so that I tell every child that comes in, how, I don't care how old the child is, you can be 70, I don't care. If you can carry the pumpkin up to me, I will buy it for you. So what we do is give everybody a little ticket, and they go pick out pumpkins, and then they take those pumpkins to the counter, and they hand her the ticket, and she writes the weight of the pumpkin on the ticket, and she keeps all the tickets. And kids of every age all walk out with a pumpkin. And it was really cool because this year I had two 20-somethings that just bought their first house, and neither one had ever carved a pumpkin. So I have a picture of them gleaming, holding their first pumpkin, and they're in their 20s, and it's the cutest picture ever. So again, the beautiful part of this party for me is I didn't set it up, I didn't clean it up, I didn't have to do anything except organize the event. And it's such a great use of time, because once they all start coming through, and I set it up like an open house, so I'm going to be there from 10 to 4 or whatever, they come through, and I get to talk to them, because it's not all everybody at one time. And this year we went a little more extravagant. I hired a psychic, and I hired a face painter. So I had 2 people there for adults and children to have fun for Halloween. And we had bottles of water and juice boxes, those little kid juice boxes. And everybody took home a bag. So we designed our own canvas shopping bags, and have those. They're like $1 or $2 a piece. And then everybody had a Tony Ray bag and filled with candy and things to go home with, treats. And we used those same bags for the Christmas, the gratitude cookies party, that we gave everybody a couple of those shopping bags with their cookies and their gratitude journals. So if you see what I'm doing is I'm leveraging, and leveraging means to think about finding a space that you can use that would be much more exciting than trying to put it on in a ballroom or at your house or whatever. Use space wisely. Lots of people will really appreciate having you there. Even if it's a restaurant, that we have restaurants here that have beautiful dining spaces for 20, 30 people that are free, and they would love to have you. So think about those when you're throwing these type of get-togethers, but they work really, really well. Does that help, Brad? I'm gonna keep busting you. You got to keep trying.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Did you have any questions about those kind of parties?
Hey, Tony, I just had a neat experience this past weekend. We got a real Christmas tree. Maybe it's 2 weekends ago. We got a real Christmas tree for Christmas. And there was an agent at this Christmas tree farm, had an old truck. It was all decked out, had Christmas trees there, lots of decorations. And any families that came through and actually got a real Christmas tree, you could set up in the back of his truck, right, and create this family photo. And he had a professional photographer there, and he would take an image for you, so you could remember the event when you got your live Christmas tree that year. And it was all sponsored by this local real estate agent, which is different than inviting your clients, but you could potentially go as far as having them pre-order real live Christmas trees and working out a deal to provide Christmas trees for them, and then doing something like that too, along the lines of what you're doing. It was really cool. The line for pictures was really long.
That's absolutely great idea. So the pumpkin tent that we go to, it actually converts over to a giant Christmas tree tent, because the kids who own the pumpkin tent, the tree tent, have a tree farm, a pumpkin farm. They have all this stuff right outside of Tucson. It would be really cool to do that. The other thing we had a photographer taking pictures at our events. What we did on the mail out of our magazine this month, in January, our next magazine goes out. And when our magazine arrives, there are photos of all the people in the magazine. So they're going to see our magazine with their pictures all in the photos of their events they've been to. So that's going to be a really cool way to use those photos. The other thing I'm going to do is upload all those photos in the next week or so into Facebook and start tagging people to say, hey, event, the Halloween event photos are up, or the cookies photos up, so people can go there and show their friends the events. So photos are absolutely a priority, and I'm so glad you brought that up, because you want all your clients, they love to see their photos, especially when the kids are there. They want those photos. So we're going to post all those and let them get to our social media channel so they can see them. It's a great script.
9:20, friend. It's 9:20. Just a heads up. If you've got some other important text.
Yeah, I'm right on time, actually, which is amazing. The last thing I want to talk about is I had said, if you get, if you can, you want to say, hey, Carolyn, your name just popped in my head. Do you have time to chat? Do you have time to catch up? Let's catch up. What time can I call you? That kind of conversation with a text. So remember, and I had talked about this on my phone video, and it actually applies to any time you're having a conversation. Remember, that gets scary for people. It's like, okay, Carolyn said, yeah, let's talk at 10. Now what? So the now what is forward, and everybody knows forward. If you've been in a class like this ever before, they've talked about forward, but it's worth always repeating and reminding you. And if you're brand new to forward, it is family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. And the law of reciprocity is that anytime I ask Brian Weiss about his family, it triggers his mind to also want to know about my family, and it starts that conversation. If I ask Brian about his occupation, he's going to also ask me about real estate. It's just an automatic trigger in the brain. It's the same as Grace Kelly was amazing actress about being gracious. People would ask or give her a compliment, and she was really good about compliments because she defied the law of reciprocity. And that was that when somebody walks up to you, Brad, and says, oh my God, Brad, I really love that jacket you're wearing today. A lot of times the immediate reaction from reciprocity is to go, oh, thank you. And I love your shirt. And so there's this moment where you're trying to compliment them back, right? Which is totally not authentic. So, and we all know that it's not authentic, and it triggers in our brain that it's not authentic. And Grace Kelly was taught that there's a way to receive a compliment and to do that graciously, and that is to say thank you or thank you for noticing. And she was really great at that. So she's a great role model. But all that aside, that law of reciprocity is there, and if we understand it and then we use it properly. So that's how forward works, is off of that law. So if you have forward the written on your screen somewhere or hanging above your desk, just remember, when you get into a phone conversation and you start panicking on what to talk about, all you have to do is look at forward and say, hey, didn't Susie just get her braces off? Or, you have that time. Ask about family, ask about pets. I make sure family, you include pets in the word family, because to a lot of people now in the world, pets are family. That has really shifted in the last decade more than ever, how much people are taking care of pets and consider them family. Some people take better care of their pets than their actual family. So make sure you add the pets. And any questions about that, about forward? When you're in a conversation, the last thing I'll remind you of, we want to ask for referrals. People need to know you work by referral. If you want a great place to go to learn referrals, the coaching program I work with is by referral only. I get no money to endorse any of this stuff for you. But by referral only taught me how to do the business that I do, and they systematized me and helped me get everything done. And so I love by referral only. And the premise is this: if you're on the phone with somebody and they've complimented you, that's when you have the right to ask for a review. That's when you have the right to ask for a referral. So remember, when you hear a thank you for your service, a thank you for something you've done, that should be a trigger point for you to ask somebody for a referral. You've earned it. They've told you that you've earned it. So remember that. And One last thing I just discovered, this is why you waited this whole time. I just discovered through by referral only, one of my techies there told me, oh my God, check out Reach. And so there's an app called Reach, and I'm trying to see if I can show you. It's actually, I don't know if you can see this. Can you see that?
Barely.
At the very bottom down there, it's a green square, and it's got a little bubble.
It would be bigger, Tony, if you took the screen sharing off.
Oh yeah. It's got a green bubble with a little baby R, and it's called Reach. If you go get the Reach app allows you to add a group from your contacts. So I can pick out 10 people right away from my contacts, and I can put them in a group. And then I can design a text like the one you see on screen share. I can design a text, and then I can hit send, and it will actually go send to Beth, and it'll put Beth's name on it. And I can say yes and hit send. Send to Brian, yes. Send to Brad, yes. Send to Joe, yes. I just hit send. And it just asks me. So I could do 100 texts in 2 minutes out to that group, right? If I get to Brad's and I'm like, oh, wait, I wanted to say something extra on Brad's. Dude, call me. I can put that at the bottom, then hit send. So I can modify the text at any time. But the cool thing is it asks me, it puts their name above the message, and it just wants you to hit the send button each time to verify you want it to go out before, or if you want to modify it, it gives you a chance. Because sometimes you might want a special note. So this system works beautifully. And the really cool thing is I have a CRM that actually categorizes everybody. So my CRM says dog lovers, wine lovers, worked with this lender, bought a house in 2019, bought a house in 2017, sold a house in 2018, all buyers, all sellers. I can run in my CRM, which is by referral only CRM. I can run any group any way, and I can run that group and hit export and take that right to the app for Reach. And then I've got my group downloaded and just hit send, whatever I want. So if you want to do a large group text out, the Reach app is your easy 1, 2, 3 way to do it. You literally add the group, write the message, hit send. So that's my new find for techie. And I have to give Tasha credit from by referral only because she showed it to me. So.
Obviously, you've got a big investment in by referral only. There's one of the participants said, any CRM recommendations for a smaller brokerage, which you would qualify for, and you've got a history with by referral only. Is that something that they would have to be a part of the program to get involved with their coaching, to leverage their technology, or any opinions as it relates to CRMs?
It's amazing. I've been with BRO for 25 years now. It's an all-in-one system. So you pay a monthly fee, or you get a discount for paying yearly, but I don't know, let's say it's $350 a month. You get the CRM for that, plus they automatically send out all your emails. They're already pre-written. They do everything for you. If you want to dominate a neighborhood, they take care of it, and you just pay postage and the postcard print costs. They do every single thing for you. Plus they have a new agent beginning program you follow, and you do everything in classes with them. It's all covered for one fee, and it's ridiculous a fee. It's like, I don't know. I want to say it's $300. I don't know for sure, but I'm grandfathered because I've been there so long, but it's a tax write-off, and there's no better system that I've ever found. I've gone to many and checked them out, but the fact that they do everything for you and they tell you what to do every day, they actually, the minute you sign on and you add all your contacts, you can get as long as you have birthdays, they're all automatically set up on this beautiful birthday system for you. They have a postcard system to remind all your clients every month of something of value that they need to know about community or their house or whatever. All this stuff is done. So it's the most, what's the word I'm looking for? there's nothing more smart than this thing because I don't have to do it. And talk about systems giving me quality of life. That system is why I can do so much and have, we've had 12 vacations this year. So why I get to go on vacation every month and still do the amount of business we do is because I have systems like BRO just taking care of stuff. It's on autopilot. So yeah, I would go call I don't know that if you tell them Tony Ray Baker sent you, they might even give you like a free consultation for an hour or something. Call them and just tell them my name. They do have an amazing program, and it's overwhelming. You just got to do what they tell you and follow it because there's so much. I still haven't learned it all, and I've been doing by referral only for 25 years. So, and yeah, I never stopped because they're absolutely amazing. Anything else? I hit 9:30. Woo!
Nice
And I
work.
shut up.
Nice work. Any other lingering questions? I think we're good. Appreciate you guys setting aside some time. Tony, thank you again, as usual, for just making your experience and the things you've learned over 27 years in this business available to everybody. And I guess I wish all of you a super holiday season. Tony and I are having discussions around just keeping this thing going, coming up with something, talking about how to create and set up a listing presentation. There were a couple different topics that people have randomly asked Tony about that may become additional classes in 2022. And obviously we would love to see you guys there. But I appreciate you guys.
Really quick too, let me, I'm gonna put this in chat so people know how to get, I forgot, ctucsonhomes.com is our website if you want to go copy off of that, or just check it out and ask me questions about it. And then if you want to talk to me, Tony Ray at C2Son Homes, which I'm putting in chat for you. Type. I cannot type. Listen, there's my email address. So if you want to reach out to me that way, or if you learned how to text today, there's my phone number.
Treat Tony.
I want to see emojis on those texts.
Yes.
Oh, last thing, if you're on a text message, be the last text. That's my other rule. Be the last text. You want to end it, don't end it with words, end it with an emoji or a statement like, yes, or the yes button where it gives you the thumbs up, you press on the text on an iPhone. Give them an emoji to end it. If they always see the smiley face emoji at the end of your text, you leave them in a good mood, but you also always set up the communication that he always ends with the smiley face. So he's done talking to me. I don't need to watch anymore to see if he's going to say anything else. That's important because people are busy. So give them that clue every time. End your text with the smiley face. Okay. All right. Bye, everybody. Hope you have an amazing holiday. And we'll probably see you in January if Brian and I get back together.
I feel pretty good about it. Maybe.
Nice.
Appreciate you guys. Y'all take care.
Thank you, Tony.
Have a great day.